determination of materiality, involvement of experts, involvement of other auditors, and also the nature, timing, and extent of the audit procedures. Then after this standard, we came to SA 320, materiality in planning and performing an audit. Right? The concept of materiality, any item or information which might influence the decision making of the users. So for the auditor, it is a matter of auditor's perception. It is his professional judgment regarding what would be that amount which might influence the decision making of the users. Materiality can be set for overall financial information as well as for individual account balances. Materiality is both quantitative as well as qualitative in nature. Some items which individually may not be material, but the aggregate may be material, performance materiality. And then sometimes even these statutory provisions contain an element of materiality. Right, then we said performance materiality, an amount set by the auditor below materiality in order to reduce to an appropriately low level the probability that the aggregate of uncorrected plus undetected misstatements could exceed materiality. है ना, छोटा 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 मिलके मोटा, है ना, aggregate of individually immaterial misstatements may exceed materiality. This is a risk in the audit. And to mitigate this risk in the auditor sets one more level of materiality below materiality, which is called as performance materiality. Yes, it is also nothing but tolerable misstatement, as will be discussed in SA 530. Then we said there is an inverse relationship between materiality and audit risk. And for the determination of materiality, the auditor uses the concept of benchmarking. Yes, you need to select an appropriate benchmark from the financial information. To that chosen benchmark, you need to apply a percentage. And whatever is the resulting amount, that is going to be materiality. Factors to be considered in the identification of an appropriate benchmark: Venus. Right? The volatility of the benchmark, the elements of the financial information, the nature of the entity, the needs of the users, and the financial structure of the entity. Right? Then after that, revision of materiality as the audit progresses, yes. Yes, can the auditor revise materiality as the audit progresses? Yes, whenever there is a change in circumstances, changes in the auditor's understanding, any new information, any additional information. And then one more point we said, so that to check more samples, an auditor initially sets a lower level of materiality. And then when the time comes for evaluating the results, he increases the amount of materiality. Right, so that was SA 320, materiality in planning and performing an audit. So this standard, they made reference to three things, no? Three essays. One, SA 320 is talking about materiality in planning and performing an audit. Then SA 450 is talking about materiality while doing the evaluation of the identified and uncorrected misstatements in the audit. And SA 300 says that auditor, you need to consider materiality right from the planning stage of the audit again, yani ke while identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement. So when we saw one case study, these were the three references to materiality which we saw in that. 320, 450 and 300. Then after that we came to, so you can just put this chart over there in your books. On a post-it or something near 320, so that again and again when you go through it, you'll remember. Material, or wherever that chart is, whatever, in whichever answer it has been discussed in the books. Right, so 320, then 450 and then 300. SA 320, materiality reference. Materiality in planning and performing an audit.